Aloha mai kako, a kamapai to curtain call, a weekly program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. The power is out in Kahului right now, so I'm shooting from my home studio. Before I begin, I need to say a word about David Kurayaʻs weekly show at ProArts Playhouse, Magic in Paradise. I had been wanting to go to the show for some time, but Wednesdays are difficult for me. I've been a longtime fan of Warren Gibson's wonderful establishment, Warren and Annabelle's. I reviewed it annually for more than a decade and was saddened that it was among the victims of the Lahaina fires. So I went with high expectations, and I am delighted to let you know Mr. Kuraya far exceeded them. He, like Warren, is a consummate professional. His show is everything you could want in a night out: funny, engaging, and astounding. His magic is, well, magic. He involves the audience from the opening to the closing. His show is tight and yet feels spontaneous. I was involved in one of the sections. I don't want to call them tricks because they are so complex. And when I realized what was going to happen, I screamed, "Oh no, it can't be!" I won't explain it. I don't want to ruin any of the surprises that await the viewer. But suffice to say, I was gobsmacked. The show is very family friendly. There were children of all ages there, and I guarantee you will leave the theater smiling and scratching your head. Go to proartsmaui.org for tickets and information. Maui Academy of Performing Arts is presenting Nora Ephron and Delia Ephron's adaptation of Ilene Beckerman's book, Love Lost and What I Wore, directed by David C. Johnston at their Living Room Theater in Wailuku until April 26th at 7:30 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays at 3 p.m. on Sundays. Next Friday is already sold out. The play started in East Hampton, New York in 2008 and opened off Broadway in the West Side Theater in October 2009 and ran for 1,013 performances until March of 2012. Because it was an off-Broadway show, top actors could only sign on for 4-week stints. Off-Broadway pay is so much less than Broadway. So the cast of 5 was constantly rotating. The opening night cast was Tyne Daly, Rosie O'Donnell, Samantha Bee, Katie Finneran, and Natasha Lyonne. Others who appeared throughout the runs included Kristen Chenoweth, Rhea Perlman, Rita Wilson, Carol Kane, Deborah Monk, Jean Ann Garofalo, Fran Drescher, Brooke Shields, Tova Felsha, Loretta Swit, Donna McKechnie, and Marla Maples, among others. The play received the 2010 Drama Desk Award for Unique Theatrical Experience, as well as the 2010 Broadway.com Audience Award for Favorite New Off-Broadway Play. Ms. Daly and Ms. O'Donnell were nominated for 2010 Drama League Awards for distinguished performances. The MAPA production has 12 actors performing the 28 monologues. If you saw last year's Calendar Girls, many of the women who were in that standing ovation award-winning show are in this, including Barbara Sedano, Kathleen Schills, Elizabeth Fellows, Dr. Beth Daigle King, and Peggy Harmon. Adding to that are Jennifer Rose, Patty Lee, Sharon Stone, Marsi Smith, Camille Romero, Mara Park, and Ashley Ventimiglia. No wonder Mr. Johnson expanded the cast from 5. How could you reject 7 from that group? The play is a series of monologues and ensemble pieces using memories of clothing that spark the storytelling. The play begins with Gingy, Jennifer Rose, who is the narrator. She tells us she has been drawing memories of significant members of her wardrobe. These are neatly hung in a closet, she reveals. These images are done by the author, Ilene Beckerman, and are included with the play's package as a supplemental production element. Ms. Rose is the perfect actor for this part. She knows this character so thoroughly. When she describes the places in Manhattan, one can visualize them through her telling. One of my favorite moments was when Gingy was telling us about the causes of polio. It was highly nostalgic for me. My best childhood friend's brother had polio, and I can remember mothers of the day telling us that playing in puddles would cause polio, among every other childhood behavior. I also remember the day when we all stood in line in the gymnasium at Smith School in West Hartford, Connecticut, and got our polio shots. It hurt something awful. Throughout the play, the monologues are interspersed with ensemble numbers where the women are spread around the room and contribute lines about it. Not fitting. I can't decide. Or do you have this in black? These are some of the funniest scenes in the show. In the director's notes, Mr. Johnson says, quote, "They didn't need me to lead," unquote. It is typical Mr. Johnson humility. But he isn't among our best directors for no reason. This play is more like a dance than our usual drama or comedy. Mr. Johnson gets the credit for casting, for deciding who was going to do what, and for choosing when, where, and how entrances and exits would be done, to mention a few of his outstanding contributions. I am certain that everyone who attends this performance will have many aha moments as the playwrights explore the ins and outs of relationships: platonic, familial, sexual, romantic, and physical. Patty Lee's story about an embarrassing moment at a good friend's brand new dining room set. Barbara Sedano revealing that she had a hole in her crotch for the pleasure of her inmate boyfriend. Dr. Beth Daigle King trying to decide whether heels or flats were better and then discovering Birkenstocks. Peggy Harmon's exploration of the infinite permutations of purses. This was a particularly poignant moment for many in the audience. Kathleen Schill's show-stopping revelation about a sexual assault. Mara Park explaining she got married because she couldn't decide between what she wore to the junior prom and what she wore to the senior one. The Madonna stories and watching Ms. Schultz and Ms. Romero go for it. Elizabeth Fellows describing her gang sweater. Sharon Stone seeing her stepmother's robe. Ashley Ventimiglia bemoaning her weight and her anxiety about her wedding dress, along with Patty Lee and their final vows, and the entire ensemble's riff on black clothing while they are all in black. And then there was Marsi Smith in her final theatrical performance on Maui. She has a couple of gigs, but this is her last play here. She is leaving in June for the mainland as Geraldine, the breast cancer patient and survivor. She puts on a brave face and brought us through the ups and downs of breast cancer patients and survivors, including the difficulty of reconstructive surgery and the choices one has. Ms. Smith will be sorely missed. She's a true professional and will leave behind marvelous memories for all of Maui's theater community. Break a leg wherever you go, Ms. Smith. These are just a few of the delights. There are many others that await you if you are lucky enough to snag a ticket. Christina Sugars gets the credit for having the living room live up to its name with comfortable, multi-purpose set pieces that allow the actors ample room to meander throughout the space and then find themselves in the perfect spot for their scenes. Logan King, who is Dr. King's son, was responsible for the lighting design, and Carolyn Wright, the Academy's executive director, collaborated with Amy Pierce and Mr. Johnson on the sound design. No costume designer is cited on the program, so I can only surmise the actors provided their own frocks. Ms. Park's fringed tights, Dr. King's stunning cocktail dress, and Ms. Smith's velvet pantsuit were quite fetching, among others. Love, Loss, and What I Wore continues until April 26th at 7:30 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays and 3 p.m. on Sundays at their living room theater at 2050 Main Street, 3rd floor in Wailuku. Next Friday is already sold out. Go to mauiacademy.org for tickets and information. It's a great night out. Hope you don't miss it. Incidentally, the Naylor Theater is only $800,000 away from their $15 million goal. There are many opportunities to have a piece of this lifelong Academy dream. You can find them at mauiacademy.org. No gift is too small or too large. Do what you can. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo nui loa for joining me. I'm Paul James Brown. Maui strong. Ahui ho.